Thank you for joining Effortless Attraction. My name is Evelyn McAleer. I'm the author of A Life You Want, Effortless, and The Woman's Journey. I'm a life coach, business mentor, and inspirational speaker. And my greatest value is making a difference in people's lives. So I hope through these podcasts I can make a difference to your life.
Effortless Attraction podcast is sponsored by Maria Young Wellbeing, wellness mentor and creator of Infusion, a platform designed to inspire health, wealth, abundance, and a life lived with purpose. Maria conducts events, trainings, and the blending of practical tools for lasting change. Her mission is simple: to help you live well and rise strong. You can explore more at www.mariayoungwellbeing.co.uk or infusion.mn.co.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for joining us on another Effortless Attraction podcast. Today, I am joined by Brónagh Davidson, and I'm going to use her married name because I am always used to calling you by your maiden name, Lyons. Brónagh is the founder of My Pregnancy Journals, a mother of two, and a passionate advocate for meaningful memory keeping during motherhood, inspired by her own pregnancies and the desire for a more thoughtful, heartfelt way to document the journey, that she created a journal that blends practical tracking with emotional reflection. Each page is designed with intention, from milestone logs and trimester calendars to ample space for letters and photos, making it a keepsake to treasure for years. When she's not designing journals, Brónagh is home in Ireland with her husband Carol and the daughters Brónagh, Beog and Saoirse. Well, Mommy, you're most welcome today.
Evelyn, thank you so much. Brónagh Beog is in preschool at the moment, and I just put Saoirse to sleep upstairs. So it's actually really nice just to be here and have this conversation. And also, Evelyn, I just love your voice and your accent. I could hear you talking about me all day, every day. It's like velvet to my ears. It's gorgeous.
I'm going to take that away. My voice is like velvet, and I shall remind my children of that as well. Your mother has a velvet voice, children. Brónagh, I am delighted to have you on. And I had Carol, your husband, on a few weeks past, and I did say to him that I have watched the two of you for many years in your entrepreneurship, your many travels, pre-marriage, then the babies came along. And I have to say, really delighted that you have now designed your pregnancy journal, because I know books and things like that were always in the forefront. So, what takes an idea to reality? What was it for you?
Do you know what? So I'll always remember when I first got the idea for the journal. Saoirse was 2 months old. It was July of last year, 2024. And I was in the back garden. It was a gorgeous day. Sunshine was hitting me and I had Saoirse on me. And I was reflecting over my experience of trying to actually find her journal. And how awful that experience was, and how awful her actual pregnancy journal was. Because obviously I had just finished at that point, and I was like thinking of for myself. I was like, I'm not going through that ever again. I was like, I would actually rather design a journal just for myself and go through the whole thing of designing a journal than trying to find a journal, which I found really difficult to do, and then having to endure a bad journal, so I was like, you know what, I'm just going to do it myself. So it was actually more motivation for me to not have to experience what I experienced again, in terms of actually creating the journal. And then while I was going through that, then it was like, oh, but if I really want a good quality journal that I would be really proud to have and to hand over to my child and really enjoy the experience of filling it in and having it there, then other mummies might too. It might be something that other mummies need as well. So that's where it kind of evolved then past my own want and need to sharing it with other people and creating it into a business. But yeah, that was it really for me. It was more just, I'm never going through all of that again. I just, for myself, for a future pregnancy, and please God, we have future pregnancies, so I can actually use this journal now. But that was the real desire behind the initial idea.
Well, that's very interesting, because I had my ears very much piqued when you said, I'm never going through that again. Now, most women would refer to it as the actual pregnancy, but not the journaling part. And that's, you're the first, I have to say, when speaking about pregnancy, I'm never going through a poor journal. So obviously, it was really up on the top of your priorities for your child to read about this journey before they came to the world, Brona.
Yeah, I guess I'm a sentimental type of person, but I'm also someone who likes archiving. Like, I was always that little girl who my mom would just have like boxes of pictures, and I'd be the one digging through all the pictures and finding them all in chronological order, and like getting albums and sticking them in and making sure everything is like in order of where it needs to be and everything. Like, it's just always been in me. I think I get that from my dad, honestly. But on my first pregnancy, so we had a bit of like a fertility scare, I suppose, before Brónagh was conceived. And when we did conceive her, my friend Lorena actually gifted me a pregnancy journal. So it's something that I probably wouldn't have even thought about, other than the fact that she'd given it to me. I had it, I had no reference point. So, I was happy enough with it. And then when Saoirse came along, I didn't have a journal, and I didn't want it to be a case that, oh well, first child gets everything, second child gets nothing. So it was really important for me to, make sure that Saoirse had everything that Brona had. So yeah, it was really high on my priority list to get a journal, and I found it really difficult actually to find one. And then the one I did get, it was not good, and I was just so unhappy with it. I was like, no. So it's the same kind of premise of like a third child. Definitely want to make sure that they also have a journal so they don't feel left out. And like in my mind, I'm like, any children that we have, they may or may not be sentimental. Like when they're older and they get the journal and it's in their hands, they might be like, this is fantastic, or it's not, and that's their decision. But I want to make sure that they have the choice to reject the journal if they don't want it. It's not a case of, I wish you had done this, but you didn't. Does that make sense?
Absolutely. And it probably won't be until years later because, well, my eldest is coming 27 and I had baby books. And it was a time of print off your photograph and put it into the album. And whenever we were moving to Spain, I said, does any of you guys want these? No, take them with you. So they're not at a stage to appreciate it just yet, but I love having them. Again, in digital, a time now of digital, Brona, a lot of people are taking photographs, they're kept on their phone, they never print them off. But what you have created now is memories that your children will inherit or will get to view in years to come. I think is extremely special. But I've also saw photographs of you when you were pregnant. I was like, how glamorous is she? There wasn't an ounce of weight on you anywhere else, only this baby bump.
Especially on the first pregnancy, not so much on the second. Like, I remember we were over in Portugal. I was only like halfway through Saoirse's pregnancy, and one of the waitresses, obviously it was a bit of broken English, that's what I'm blaming it on. But it's like, oh, when are you due? And I was like, oh, not until May, which was like months away. It's like, oh, and she was like, are you having twins? I was like, no, just one baby. And she was just like, one baby? Like, she was just shocked. So second pregnancy, definitely not as neat as the first, but I think that's normal.
So I see now from the businesswoman point of view, you are at award shows. You are absolutely no stranger to interviews. This is second nature to you. And you're now actually going into agricultural events. Uh, a strangest place, you'd be thinking, I'll take my pregnancy journal there. But you've had a huge success. I saw one of your videos where yourself and Carol and the girls went down to Tullamore.
We did. We went to the Tullamore show and we went to the Iverk show as well. So, it's really random and stuff. So we launched this year. So our first event where we launched was the Pregnancy and Baby Fair in the RDS. And you know, I was so new at that point. I had done nothing. And I was really like, look, if I'm going to really put my heart and soul into this, I need to be at this event, even though like we were like literally brand new, like nothing had happened at that point. And we were in a stall between Benji Bennett, who writes Adam Cloud's book, so really well-known children's author, and then Lucy Wolfe, who is a sleep consultant, and we were there, and it was amazing because we got to speak to both of them and like got loads of insights and information from both. And it was actually Benji, who's been in the business of like going to these events for like 20-25 years now. He was like, oh, you know, you need to get to these shows, and he actually made me a list of different shows. And there was a few other ones there as well. He was like, look, you're not at the stage yet for the ploughing, which I completely understand. He's like, it's 3 full days. It's very grilling, and it's like a big investment. So you need to make sure that you're able to sell what it is that you're doing. But the Iverk show, which is the oldest running agricultural show in Ireland, it's celebrating 200 years next year, which is insane. And the Tullamore show, which I didn't realize on either of them at the time, is the largest agricultural show, like one day agricultural show. I was able to attend both of them, and it was really I would never have thought of going, but I suppose the thing with my journal is it's more of a gift product, so it's something that someone would buy for someone else. Obviously you can buy it for yourself, but it is something even for myself. As I said, I was gifted on my first. I wish I had been gifted on my second. Like, if I ever hear of someone pregnant, they'll definitely be getting a journal, because I just think it's such a nice thing to be able to receive that you might not even think about for yourself. And what I've really learned from going to these agricultural shows is you're standing there with your stall, and people are passing and coming up and talking to you, and they really are thinking about other people. You know, who would like this journal? Who do I know that's pregnant? As opposed to I've been to tons of like baby and family centered events, and actually for those events, people disqualify themselves because they're just thinking of themselves. They're not thinking of other people. So they're like, oh, I don't like to journal. Oh, I'm too far in my pregnancy. Oh, I'm too early in my pregnancy, all this sort of stuff. Whereas like the agricultural events are actually really interesting because people are just like open-minded and thinking of others. And there's no competition for me either. Like, no one else is there with a pregnancy journal. Like,
I
so
couldn't imagine so.
yeah. It's so funny. You get farmers, oh, I've seen it all now. Like, it's very funny.
I know. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, a wonderful gift. And I'm really intrigued about the whole business concept of thing, about pushing yourself forward, about seeing a niche in the market that if there's something that you know that you want, that other people will want it too. But then there's also that thing of investing in yourself, Brona, and taking a leap of faith. And this is something when I work with people, when you can see so much potential, but yet people hold them back. Were there ever times that you were holding yourself back and perhaps Carl pushed you on? Other people were like, come on, Brona, you have something here.
I think it definitely would have been very easy for me to do it, like as I was saying with the RDS, at the very beginning. You know, we were like, well, this is very big. Like, it is the biggest thing. They do it twice a year, so it was just literally this weekend gone. I was at it again for a second time, but like we were so new that I was like, oh, you know, it's a big investment. Like, it's a lot. Um, oh no, maybe I'll just wait until October. And then I think it's more innate within me. I was like, no, look, if in my head I was like, if I wait until October, that just proves I'm not serious about this. Like, if I am serious about it, this is where I need to be, and I need to be there now. So I don't know, I kind of just feel like I've been constantly like self motivating myself, and like really like, no, you need to do this. Like, another thing was, so we've restocked 3 times. So the first 2 times was with one printer, and then the last restock was with a different printer. And the way it worked out price wise, with the second printer that we got for the third restock, we needed to get like a very large order in to like really make the margins make sense. And that's a lot as well, because I still had some journals from like my second restock, and all of a sudden I'm getting like a shipment of 300 journals in, and it's really kind of like intimidating, because you're like, will I sell these journals? Are they just going to sit here? It's a lot of money up front. Where am I going to store the journals? Like, all this sort of stuff. So yeah, there's a lot of like, really, especially at the beginning, like you're holding your breath and like, am I really going to do this thing? But you just like, if you are serious about it, you just have to push through that and just do it, you know? So yeah, there have been those moments, but I just feel like myself, I'm like, I have to do it.
Mm. Imagine if everyone had that thought. I love people with drive. I love people that are willing to take that step into the unknown, into the unfamiliar, where it scares you. Absolutely. And those doubts and fears. But a lovely thing too that you have the support of Carol, because you
Hmm.
mentioned a lot of times there we were pregnant. We were and I know women will say, hold on, I was pregnant. I but there's the we and the girls are very much involved, when you're out doing your talks as well, Barona.
They come to everything. So it doesn't matter where the trade show is or where we're exhibiting, that's Mammy's shop. And they know that Mammy's shop changes all of the time. And Brónagh Beag, she has her little her job at Mammy's shop. If it's a bigger one, I'll have a basket with chocolates in it, and it's her job to hand out the chocolates and give it to people and stuff. And I always, wherever I go, I have a little Paw Patrol chair that comes with us. And I have props actually, where my pull-ups are, or my pop-up banners are, and little like teddies and stuff, and the girls are playing with them. And Carl is such an amazing support. Like, he comes to absolutely everything. And he's often like, it's daddy daughter day, like, he's off like with the girls, like entertaining them or bring them to go for a nap or whatever it is at that time. And I wouldn't be possible to bring them there if I didn't have Carl. Like, there was one event I went to, it was actually Mums in Business, and I went there myself. It was midweek and I had the two girls, but it was designed for mums in business. So it was designed to accommodate mothers that would have their kids with it. So big play area and everything. But no, Carl's just been an absolutely amazing support. And, yeah, okay, physically I'm the one that's pregnant, but it's a journey that we're both going on, and it does affect men a lot as well. And I do think we need to shout out the men in the pregnancy journey and in the parenting journey as well. But like, obviously, like, we take the brunt of everything. I'm breastfeeding, like, I've breastfed Brónagh until she was 14 months. I was already 2 months pregnant with Saoirse at that stage. And Saoirse's like 16-ish months now, and I'm still feeding her. And like, even that alone, that kind of journey is like a huge toll on the woman's body, but it's just such an incredible gift and something that we are able to do, if we are able to do. And I just think it's amazing that we can. But like, definitely it'd be nice if men could do something, either like be pregnant or deliver the baby or breastfeed or something. But like, no, we have to do it all. We get to do it
It
all,
would be
Evelyn.
weird. I think it would be weird. You know what you're getting to show your daughters as well. You're getting to show them what an independent woman looks like, what a woman that, the support of a good father figure, a good male role model in their lives. And so they're picking up so much more of that. I've often said to women, when we say it to our daughters, if the daughter has an image complex or fearful of things, if mothers say to their daughters, oh, you're beautiful, you're this yet, but they're not going to believe you if they do not see that in you. If we're the mother and we're always, oh, I couldn't do that, or I'm fat, or I'm this, or I'm that, your daughters aren't going to believe you. So I remember saying to a group of women at a talk one time, are you the end result of that which you would like for your daughter? And I certainly believe that you are, Brona. You're showing them girls what it is like, that anything is possible. You can make your dreams a reality. These girls are learning how to interact with human beings from a very young age. I mean, you must be super proud of what you have achieved.
I am, and I think it's just, it's in my personality. Like, there's always, I pick up on flaws more than anything else, but like, I do reflect on things and like what I'm doing. Like, even this morning I was in the gym, so I pop Brown into preschool, then Monday, Wednesday, Friday go to the gym straight after and bring Saoirse with me. And it's a female only gym, and it's all weight training and strength focused. And even just this morning, Saoirse was there doing her thing, and one of the other women came up, was like, oh, look at you looking at all these strong women and everything. And it's like, it's so true. Like, and during the summer, Brona would have been coming with me as well. And like, I do try to be as much of an example as I can. Like, and I remember someone said to Carol once, like, as a parent, you're either a warning or an example, or something along those lines. They said it a lot more eloquently than I just did. But, it's so true. Like, you are either an example or a warning to your kids. And like, I want to always be that example, but motherhood has always been so important to me. Like, I remember 7 years of age force feeding myself broccoli because I was like, one day I'll have kids and they'll need to eat broccoli. So like training myself to do certain things. I used to smoke cigarettes and I was like, oh, I better stop now because I wouldn't want my kids to be smoking. All this sort of stuff. Like, I've always kind of had motherhood as a North Star. And then when we went through that kind of like fertility wobble, it was a huge identity crisis for me. So like, just it put everything into perspective, and it just makes me a lot more grateful for the girls and for motherhood and for the whole pregnancy journey, which obviously ties into the journal as well. But yeah, I'm so grateful to have them and to have Carol as well.
Well, let us get on to your journal now. I've read out all these things that's in it. There's room for journaling, there's photographs, there's letters. What are women receiving from it? Have you had feedback?
Oh, they love it. Yeah, like I've had so much because like there's so many women and families that I've met from all of these different trade shows, and there's so many different stories. So I'll always remember um two women coming up to me in the RDS in April, and it was a mother and a daughter. The daughter was pregnant, but she was voluntarily single mothering through IVF. I think she was just starting her second trimester, and the mom actually bought it for her daughter on the day. And they just had like tears in their eyes thinking about like, how special it would be to be able to like log everything that was happening in the pregnancy, and to like really have this as something to pass down to the child once it was born. I have a few customers now who have had their baby, so it's like it's so special. Even at the RDS this weekend, I met a few people that had been at it the last time, and they're like, I got your journal and here's my little baby. And just so cute. Like, it's amazing. And like the way I just design the journal as well, it's just so much space for photographs, and I just think that's so important because I did a journal on both girls during the pregnancy and also a 0 to 1 year journal on both. So that's 4 different journals with different designs and stuff that I was kind of taking inspiration from, of what I loved and what I definitely didn't love and what I wish that they had. And one thing that I wish that they all had was just more space for photos. Like there's obviously like a little bit of space in there, but just never enough. And you were saying earlier on about everything being stuck on your phone. Like the way that this journal is designed, you're so inspired to just like print off all your journals because it ends up like a photo album once it's done. And like just imagine your baby is obviously so small when they're born, but like as they become toddlers, they can start flicking through and seeing all the pictures, like, oh, there's mommy, there's Nana, there's auntie, whoever, and seeing all the things that you're doing before they can even read. So it's something that like you can share around friends and family because everybody loves a photo album. So no, everybody absolutely loves it. There's so many people coming up being like, I found it so difficult to get a journal, or the ones out there, like, I just don't like them. I'm so glad that you have this here. So it's been really well received, like, thankfully,
Yeah.
thank God.
Yeah, I could imagine.
Yeah.
And a common thing is whenever, say, your children have children, what did I look like when I was younger? And if people just continually keep their photographs on a phone and don't have here, we miss that all out. So tell me this, someone that is looking to buy your journal as a gift, how can they get it?
So I do have a website. So that's just my pregnancy journals with an S at the end.com. So you can obviously get it there, and you can just put in the delivery address as the person you're sending it to, or to yourself, and obviously you can gift it to the person personally. But what I'm also trying to get into as many distribution networks as I possibly can. So like that's the main focus for me right now, is to try get into like retailers. I have a few at the moment, not enough. So that's really where I'm going. And I'm also trying to collaborate with like people in the kind of baby space, or just regular Joe soaps that like, would have like their friends, their family, their audience, their clients, whoever it is, and kind of sell through them. So just to kind of try get it out there as much as possible. But wherever you are, you can definitely get it on the website, or like message me through Instagram if you have any issue. It's just my pregnancy journals as well. But yeah, I have people in Mexico that have my journal, I have people in Canada that have my journal, I have people like obviously all different parts of Ireland and stuff as well. So you don't have to be limited to Ireland if you are looking for a journal.
Great. Well, I will put all of your details in the description below. And I just want to say, Bruna, well done. Well done to you. Well done on everything both yourself and Carol have come through. Well done. on your new move that is happening to Portugal.
Hmm.
There's a lot of this stuff that has happened and is continuing to happen for the Davidson family.
For sure. I remember when we first got married, and we got married in Romania, and the photographer, when they were making the photo album, it's like it's not one that the pictures are stuck in. It's like fully printed photo. And I
Mm.
remember bringing it back to home to Ireland and showing my dad, and he was like, it's like keeping up with the Davidsons, similar to like keeping up with the Kardashians. I'm like, I'll just always remember that. I just think it's so funny. But like, yeah, we've been doing a whole like house renovation and house purchasing and everything. I was 7 months pregnant, heading over to Portugal to sign the deeds for our house on Brona. So like we had the house back in 2022, and yeah, the plan is to move early next year. So it's really exciting. I just look at the girls and everything that they're doing now, and they're probably not even going to remember any of their time in Ireland. Maybe Brona will have a few memories, but like they'll be growing up essentially Portuguese. So it's really very exciting times ahead. And that's why I do have kind of in my mind, like, how much can I do while I am here to like get the journal out into as many places as possible, because again, I won't be here myself. So yeah, it's very exciting.
Well, a shout out to any stockists that might be listening to this
Hmm.
podcast, wherever you're at worldwide. I definitely reach out to Brónagh Davidson. Brónagh, thank you so much for your time today. Continued success, continued health to yourself, the girls, and to Carol and future Davidsons. We just never know.
Thank you. So please God, yeah, I'd love for like six of them. So I'll take what I have though. I'm very, very grateful. But thank you so much, Evelyn. I really do appreciate it. And yeah, I just think you're fab. And like I've been following you obviously for years and years and years right back. And like you're happily married, you're over in Spain, like you're just living your best life. And like I just think that you are just such an incredible person, incredible energy. I'm just so grateful to have you in my network, and as just someone that even if we don't speak for a couple of years, it's just like, hey, Evelyn, like, what's going on here, or vice versa, you know? So, yeah, I'm just very grateful for you. Thank you so much.
And thank you, Bruna. And thank you, listeners, for your time today. And as always, if you're listening on Spotify or on YouTube, I always love to hear comments or feedback. So if you get a moment, leave us a wee comment. And thank you again.